The theme of this year, you said, is Mission Possible.
Yes.
And nothing happens overnight. So how are you going to make those quantifiable changes at a fast enough rate and a high enough level to keep people convinced that, hey, Jackson really is turning around?
I think the main thing that you do is that you're open and honest with everybody about the needs. You learn to be resourceful and pull in people and resources that you need in order to make sure that you can continue to grow. And one of the things we do is, for example, on the instructional front, we're doing the diagnostics. We have the benchmarks. We are creating the instructional reteaching calendars. We have the professional learning program in place. All of the best practices that I know work, they've worked for me. I'm not doing a whole lot new. Just the same things that I did at my when I was principal at Sequoia Middle School, same things I did at Jonesboro High School and tweaked to that environment. Same things I'm doing right now at Maynard Jackson that I've tweaked to that environment. And we saw immediate change that first week that we were here with the student behavior. They were ready to learn. So got them out of the hallways, cut down the fights, have had no violence. I haven't had anything that I've had to worry about getting in the news or one of my children getting hurt as a result of an action happening because security wasn't in place in my school. So now I'm making sure those are in place. And what I was going to mention is those are my experiences in the turnaround. But I think that principals who come into situations that are already moving smoothly, they have an equally tough challenge of making sure that they don't fall.
I mean, obviously, testing is a huge indicator of performance and ability throughout one's school years. One concern that we've heard a lot in terms of just the concept of American education is that kids are taught to test as opposed to critically analyze things and critically comprehend things. So what are you doing to sort of measure that portion of their education experience?
You know what? We are looking at true standard mastery, because I have talked about testing because it does guide a lot for public schools, especially in the state of Georgia. But I really believe that when you focus the curriculum on standard mastery and you're using the tools such as the depth of knowledge and revise Bloom's taxonomy, which we call the rigor meter, you know, those kinds of strategies where you utilize rubrics that actually take the students to higher levels of learning through performance tasks, and it has to be consistent, where the teacher is also providing feedback on the level of mastery of the learning for the student and making them, requiring them to complete their lessons over, have reteaching opportunities when they don't completely reach it at what I call an A level. Then you're really teaching and you're utilizing critical thinking, because here on the questions, they actually have to utilize those tools, the rigor tools, in order to actually test here, for us to approve their test, and for us to get through the lesson plans that they submit, because we actually check lesson plans.
Now, there's been a lot of attention on Jackson from the multi-million dollars that APS is putting toward the school, building the new campus.
Oh, yes.
And there's the IB program. So there's a lot of attention focused on Jackson's best and highest potential. But what are you doing for, the kids who aren't going to be in the IB program or who aren't going to be in AP to make sure that they're also getting the best education that they can get and that they're being pushed to their highest?
You know what? The thing about curriculum right now and the focus on student achievement is that it has to be a focus on the student achievement at every single level. That's the first thing. But all the way starting back, we've been working with the state and Dr. Stringer from GLRS on all of our co-teaching strategies to make sure that our special needs students who will also work toward a high school diploma have equal access to an appropriate curriculum that will help them to master the test. And we have all the tutorials. I want to tell you, because I've heard that since I've gotten here, but when I reviewed the curriculum that Jackson High School had, actually even now in some aspects, and had in the past few years, it was not a rigorous curriculum. We have not offered, they said we're an AP challenge school, but when I got here, there are only 3 AP courses that are actually offered for this school year, which bothers me because we're a 21st century high school. The children really should have engagement in AP all the way from 9th through 12th grade. That should not be, we should not have full grade levels and courses that students don't engage in AP courses, in my opinion. So, those are just some of the things that we're looking at right now that we're planning to infuse. And that's one of the reasons why the AP, IB rigor that is getting pushed. And I will tell you this, we are not discriminating of who gets into these courses. I don't care who you are. If you want to take this on, you want to take on the challenge of IB and AP, we're going to fully support you. I believe that children, when they accept a challenge, they usually perform better than expected, even if you don't get the AP credit at the end, or the IB credit at the end. Sometimes I believe that by taking on those gifted honors level courses, you end up actually learning more than you would have just sitting back in a regular class setting without the level of rigor that you've experienced in the higher class.